has to be said, the decision today was not to close the library. The decision today was to open the public consultation on the future of library services in Ryhall and the surrounding parishes.
Perfect. And I think one of the main things that they've kind of told me is about having their voices heard and, you know, having a bit of their input. Do you think this is going to help them do that?
I hope they will make full use of the public consultation, and I'm hoping there will be some innovative ideas about how we can move forward, because there are a lot of people in those parishes that don't currently use the library service, and this is an opportunity for them to have their voices heard as well.
Perfect. And I guess if, you know, it does come to it and that library does have to close, do you think that is going to have a lot of effect on the community hearing, you know, sort of how important it is to them?
I think we need to separate here the building from the library services. So we are aware that a lot of the use of the library is as a warm space, and we do intend investigating how else we can provide a warm space in Ryhall. So I think it's important to separate the library building from the library services.
Definitely. And with the kind of budget as well, having that 10% less than, you know, kind of what you expected, how has the council coped with that? And, you know, are these the kind of decisions you've not had to want to make?
I think that's a budget question, and that wasn't what I agreed.
Okay, no worries, of course. Okay, one more question about the library then, sort of having, you know, the people there today, did it, I guess, make you all, you know, sceptical about any decisions that have been made, or, you know, you thinking this is the best thing, and why is this the best option at the moment?
I think to say the best option is a difficult thing to say. In an ideal world, we would have the money to completely do all the work, building work, that Ryhall Library building needs, and then to do the alterations we need to move the Living Well Rutland service into that library. We are having to live within our means, as everybody has to, and the reason for the decision today to go out to consultation is in the hope that there are some innovative ideas out there that can maintain as much of the library service as we possibly can.
Perfect. Thank you for that.
Is there an option that this library could stay open? Is that an option? In that place, this time next September, could it still be running as it's running now? Is that an option?
I have to admit, I do not understand the concept, the community ownership. There's a thing where, and I'm referring to it as a thing because okay. There is, you may know about it.
Yes, so community groups can take over libraries. So is it an option that you could hand the building over to the group and they could take it over as a community group? Is that an option?
If that was to come forward in the consultation, we would look at that.
Okay. Do you think it's disrespectful how you've kind of carried on not speaking to the volunteers? The first they found out about it was in the local media that potentially their library could close. I know you haven't made the decision today to close it, but there's a lot of people that are angry about how they've found out. Do you think you should have talked to them?
I think we need to remember that there is due process in employment law and contract law with the Arts Council, etc. And I know that the announcements had to be made in a very careful order.
So you couldn't have told the volunteers?
I am presuming not.
Okay, right. So it is an option that the community could take this library over. You're not shutting that down? I'm going to be careful here, Sarah. I have heard such things can be done. I don't know the exact circumstances in which they can be done. Okay. Would you ask your officers to look into that, because it's happened across the country? would you ask your officers to look at the option? That's what other councils have done. They've spent a lot of time looking at the options so they don't have to close it down. Is that what you could do?
I could ask.
Right, okay. And there's a bit of concern about where the money's going. So the 70,000 set aside in the budget, where is that money going? Is it going to go to Oakham or Ketton, or will it stay within Ryhall?
The money that was set aside
Yeah.
for the Ryhall refurbishment, a lot of that, if not all of it, will remain in the library service offered within Ryhall and the surrounding
Okay,
parishes.
but is it not a capital budget, so can you use it for revenue costs?
It might be that alternative community facilities are found, but that we need to put some money into converting them into how we transport books, etc.
Okay. And one last question. Would you have done this in Oakham? Would you have put on a paper that the Oakham Library was to close without telling anybody? Would that have happened here?
If we were faced with the same scenario, yes, because I presume that we've had to follow due process.
Okay. So you think due process has been followed?
I believe so.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. End of my questions.